Engagement, and we have a special guest here with us today, State Representative Barbara Drummond. Thank you so much for agreeing to have this sit down conversation. Thank you.
Well, no problem. I'm happy to do it.
Good, 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 good. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in. Um, I would like for you to just tell us a little bit about you. Who is Barbara Drummond?
Well, I think that if you want to know more about me, I'm a person who has been around, and I think that my DNA is in the soil of Mobile because if you look from where I came from, which was a very marginalized community on Texas Hill, to where I am today, I have traveled in many of the circles that we now see progress. I tell people that one of the most proudest thing that I am gratified to do is to know that the fiber of who Mobile is right now, that is me. I started out at the press register, of course, and got to know people in this community and the fiber and what they make up. And then I went on to county government because I was a single mom, and that was my proudest moment. I have one of the most wonderful daughters who's now practicing law, and she was reared here in public education at LaFleur High School and went on to HBCU from Talladega all the way to Southern. So she's doing real well. And then I went on to city government. And I think all of those prepared me to become an elected official because you got to care about people. And I think that's one of the reasons I'm now seeking the office of mayor.
Okay. So, one of the questions here was what drives your leadership philosophy, and how has your experience from journalism to legislator shaped it? So, you talked about, your where you come from, Texas Hill, and just where, about your daughter, but just tell us a little bit more about where you see this going.
Well, what shaped me, it didn't actually start at the county or the city or even at the press register. It started with a mom who raised me to always be honest and to do the right thing and to help others and always be open to listen to other viewpoints so that you can bring them in. I'm a person who believes that we need a diverse culture in order to make tomorrow work for those that are coming behind us. And I'm also one of those individuals that I'm always pulling someone else up. That's when I say that I've got Mobile's DNA in me because I'm always wanting the best to happen for our folks and for our community and for our city. When I look at our city, somebody came to me today and said, Barbara, if you just tell them that you will reinstate Bayfest. And I started laughing because I'm one of the founding members of Bayfest.
Okay.
I'm actually the one who put together, Fred Richardson is the father of Moon Power Mobile. I am the mom. I coined that phrase. I designed that event.
Really?
And when you look at all of the economic development, when Mobile finally came into her own, I was at that table in the Jones administration when we recruited Airbus, Alstom, ThyssenKrupp, and so many other things. And that's why I know I have always wanted the very best for the folks that we serve. And I think when you look at what it shapes me is because for me to run for this campaign, I am a current legislator in Montgomery, and I'm on some of the very most powerful committees.
Okay.
Just recently, people say, what have you done for me lately? When you look at the new airport, I am the one that got $15 million for the construction of that airport.
Okay.
And then when you look at our school system right now, they changed the funding formula for public education in the state of Alabama. Because of my presence on that committee, I made sure the largest school system in the state of Alabama, I said we got about $8.9 million, and the chairman of that committee inboxed me this morning to say, no, we're going to give you about $11.4 million. So I look at all of that. It has shaped me. My mom raised us to be honest and to know how to treat people and to bring people into your fold. I was raised very poor, but I was very rich in a number of other things. And I think that has shaped me to be the person that I am today.
I definitely think that's important too.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
And I love that you talked about the school system and kind of the funding that we do have going there. So it kind of brings me really to another question, and that's really going to be about the workforce. So, how do we continue to attract top talent, major employers, and advanced manufacturing companies to Mobile while ensuring that our local workforce is prepared and competitive enough for those positions?
Well, see, that's one of the challenges is that we just now realize that our 2-year college system, which is Bishop State, is a good nucleus to help us to train the workforce.
I think it is.
We are now, creating a system right now from K through 12 that we start training them while they're in school. If you look at from Blunt High School, who has the healthcare,
Yes.
you look at BC Rain, which has the aerospace. We just got $350,000 for that program,
Okay.
and Williamson has a welding program. We've got to start. My vision, if I'm elected mayor, is that we need 4 workforce development academies in Mobile County to train our kids starting from all the way to elementary school all the way through to go into these high-paying jobs. One bill that I co-sponsored in this session, which I'm real proud of, is for the Home Building Association.
Okay.
They came to us and they say, hey, we don't want you all to give us any money. They said, we will let you put a tax or a fee onto plumbers, electricians, and those in the home building industry. And that is going to be a great tool. There's a model already in Huntsville, and we're going to mirror the one here on Huntsville. But I think those are the ways that we can stimulate the workforce for tomorrow. At Excel Academy, which is one of the charter schools, and I helped to get this. They got about $1 million for a pilot program, and I was real proud. I was their first graduation speaker. They graduated 60 young people who were between the ages of 18 to 24, who were just standing out on somebody's corner. And now they are now gainfully employed in a number of different areas. They started training them under that program, and it's a very good model. But we need to extend that program as well as others in the school system. That's why it's important, because education is the thread that makes a community successful. I want to change the lifestyle of Mobile, but in order to do that, nobody's going to move their family here if the school system's not good.
Right.
Nobody's going to want to come and have a business here if the school system's not good. So education is a very important factor for us to be able to do that.
Another thing that seems to be important to people is, along with education and jobs, of course, is actually family-friendly entertainment. Do you have any plans to expand family-friendly entertainment parks, community spaces that give parents, kids, and multi-generational families more safe and fun things to do in Mobile?
Well, see, I think that's part of the lifestyle change in Mobile. We've got to start creating safe places which will help us with youth violence. Safe places for our young people. Think if you're a young person now in Mobile, where do you go? Where do you go? Where do you go? What do you do? There's nothing here. I had a young person tell me the other day that if they wanted to go to a good museum, they have to go all the way to Mississippi. If they want to go to an amusement park, they have to go to Gulf Shores or even to Pensacola. Those are things that we're going to try to look at when we're doing a lifestyle change. One thing that I'm big on, Mobile has such a wonderful, rich, diverse history. We don't tell our story.
Not enough.
Not enough. If you go to places like Savannah, the story is told. I think it's far time for us to do a lifestyle change to create just those things, not just recreational opportunities, but lifestyle opportunities that when the 5 o'clock clock hits, you can take your family and say, we have options. We can go here or there. And that's what families are looking for. And I want us to tell our story. One of the stories that I think is the most rich story, and I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, Africatown is already defined. We know where the ship is. We need to do a master plan and build out that great tourism opportunity that can be family friendly, and we can put affordable housing around it, but that can be a community that can be a wealth that we can attract people internationally. We've got the tools here.
And it is definitely an attraction that is talked about widely. Anywhere I go, most people say, okay, that's where the
Well, see,
legislature
I've
can-"
had the opportunity, when you talk about me working at the newspaper, Mama Eva, which was the last surviving child of Cudjoe Lewis, I had an opportunity to interview her.
Okay.
And I didn't know how valuable that was until they found the ship. I knew that she was somebody that I was drawn to. And the culture that she told me about. I can never forget, we were sitting in a shotgun house which has now been torn down. Mobile needs to preserve that historic history. And she was picking peas, a lost culture. Peas that she raised in a garden in the backyard. Because when those folks came to that location, they had to survive, and they found ways to do it. Those are things that we can take and rebrand and recreate so that the future for tomorrow would know the sacrifices that were made for them.
I like that. So, brings me to another topic when we talk about today and basically changing lifestyle change. A lot of times, we look at things and a lot of times people don't strategize, but it seems like you're definitely a strategist. What would your 90-day plan look like? What does the first 90 days of a Barbara Drummond administration look like?
Well, I think it's actually more than 90 days.
Okay.
This started when I began to think about running for mayor. This is not something that was just haphazard. In all of the preparation, I think that we need to invest in ourselves and incentivize ourselves again. One of the things I think that we've done well, we've done a great job of all of the recruitment of economic development, but we've not incentivized neighborhoods.
I love that.
We've not incentivized neighborhoods. We've got neighborhoods, again, with this rich history. And I'm not talking about the ones that were defined. There are a number of them. There's so much blight, but there's history there. We've got to do a master plan for affordable housing. Engagement department to give young people a voice in this city. We've not heard their voices. And I'm not just talking about saying, okay, Mayor Drummond, we want you to do this. I'm talking about sustainable opportunities for employment, for educational opportunities, for internships. And I'm not talking about just doing it in the summer. I'd like to see a standing department created to give our future a voice into what their government will look like, so that they can be collaborative and also know that they have a voice into that process.
I love that. And I love that because talking about voices, one of my questions is basically many people, especially first-time voters and young adults, feel disconnected from local politics. What message to them, what's your message to them, and what makes this election different? Why should they pay attention now?
Because Barbara Drummond is somebody who came from the very communities that they now live in. I know what it is to be marginalized and underestimated. I go back to where I came from, where many people said that nothing good can come out of that. When I was elected in the legislature, I tell people that if I had allowed all of the people who thought I was going to fail to get into my psyche, I would have never achieved anything. The journey that I am on now is trying to create opportunities for all folks. I talk about an azalea bush. When I was raised up, which is a stone's throw from Oakley, which is a very affluent neighborhood, everybody used to say the only way you can prosper in Mobile, you have to be conceived under an azalea bush. Well, I want to burn that damn bush down. Because we need to create opportunities for all folks. We've got so much talent here. A lot of folks move away, our talent, and some that stay here say there are no opportunities here. That shouldn't be the case.
I agree. That shouldn't be the case.
It shouldn't. I mean, if you think Atlanta has opportunities, they're here. What other city you can go to that has 3 major highways going through it, sitting on a major a major, the Mobile River and the Gulf. These are opportunities for us. And I tell folks every time I go somewhere, especially with industry, I am a person who is always saying we need to create opportunities for those who want to become an entrepreneur. I think the city ought to be trying to help incentivize those individuals because we've got some great minds and for the future. And we need not just collaborate with them. I hear people talking, we're going to collaborate. I want them to incentivize that. Like I have a young man right now who is an excellent chef and he wants to start a business. He doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't have the business knowledge to be able to do it or the dollars to start it. We need to incentivize us.
I want to interject so much, but
Okay.
I don't want to make this
No,
about me.
go
I
ahead.
want to hear you.
Okay.
So because to me, you're giving and telling us so much, and I appreciate that. And it just means so much to me to be able to hear that from, someone that of your platform and someone that's actually running, because I do feel like a lot of times that organizations come here and the opportunities don't present themselves all the time to the people that are currently here.
But see, that goes back to having a skilled workforce.
It does.
It's like you build it and they will come. Well, that's what has happened. But our folks aren't taking advantage of it. And we need to change that trajectory. Our folks need, because that's why we work so hard to recruit and to get these opportunities here, but our folks aren't skilled enough to take advantage of that. I want our kids to have those opportunities. I don't think it's anybody in this race who push harder than I do for education. I serve on the Education Trust Fund Committee, and they can tell you all they have to do is say Mobile, and I say, how high do you want me to jump? Because I want to change it. And when folks start saying, oh, our school system is not that great, that's not true. If you look at the ACAP scores, our kids' scores are going up. I'm proud of the Literacy Act because we had predicted like 20% of the kids were going to fail in third grade. That number is less than 12% now. So we are improving, but it's going to take a lot of work for all of us working together.
I agree.
Yeah.
What policies would you champion to ensure equal opportunity for all of Mobile residents, regardless of age, background, or income level? Is there anything currently that you feel like we can expand on or just grow?
I want to be fair with all of the federal planning dollars that are coming into Mobile. Mobile's an old city, but those areas that are blighted, those happen to be in the older part of our cities, and they're also in the marginalized communities. I want to make sure that we take those dollars and use them to reform those areas and also to maintain their identity. Because there are a lot of those areas, money's going into some of them now, but you will never ever know that an African American ever lived there. I'm talking about like Africa Town. We shouldn't just wait until we raise the ship. We can't, because it will disintegrate. We need to be right now working to build something that we can be proud of. So those are the kinds, and I'm going to be fair about it. I'm going to make sure that this is something fair to everybody, not just black folks, but everybody. I'm going to make sure that we have a city hall that every opportunity that we can give for tomorrow will be afforded to everybody.
That's important. It is important.
Yeah, opportunities, they don't always come every day.
Not every day.
But Mobile is on, the future of Mobile is so great. I say, looking at the mayor's office, I'm not here to bash anybody who's currently in office, because I look at it as passing the torch. When Mike Dow was in office, he passed the torch on to Sam Jones, and when Sam Jones left, he passed it to Sandy Stimpson. And I am proud to say that I think it's time for you to pass it on to her, because her has experience.
I like that her has experience. Well, how would you enhance services to improve accessibility for our seniors, particularly when it comes to transportation? You've talked quite a bit about housing and just really overall quality of life, but especially the transportation part.
Well, we need to look at technology to make transportation much more efficient. I don't know if you've traveled other places. I travel a lot of places. And I never have a car. I'm using their public transportation, but they have gotten technology wise to make it work for them. And I think that we can do the same thing here. But again, I got a little bit upset when I saw what was going with the current transit workers and so forth. I don't think anybody ought to be treated that way, but we need to make not only build a system that is built on technology, but also one that takes in account those that are working there. And if Uber can make technology and make transportation better, surely we can do it with public transportation.
I agree. I didn't grow up with a car. I'm from Atlanta, so
Yeah.
I've been riding, rapid transit systems and city transportation since I was young. So I didn't grow up with a car. The family didn't have a car.
They didn't have a car. Well, we did. We
got
didn't
on
either.
83 Camerton Road.
We had bicycles. So I was a little bit ahead of you. We had a bicycle.
Okay.
Yeah. So we grew up on, but in partnership, Councilman C.J. Small.
I saw that, yes.
Yeah, we've been doing it now 10 years, and it's grown. We have over 200 seniors that come to that, and it's our way of letting them know what state government and also what city government is doing. It's a town hall, and it's very rewarding. They ask questions, and we tell them what services that are out there for them, because a lot of them don't know.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Up until the time we did this particular event, I didn't know that seniors could get cable service for $10 a month through Comcast. So Comcast came and told us. I didn't know that South Alabama Regional Planning Commission, the area on the agency, had opportunities that could help you. You get up, once you reach a certain age, you get bombarded with all of these folks about buying Part C and Part da 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 da. They have folks, professionals over there, can help you so that you don't get hoodwinked. So I think there are ways that we can do it. Seniors and young people are my heart.
Great.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you said young people and seniors, because this town is full of young people and seniors. So it's just important that we do have.
But I want the young
that,
people to come back that have left, and I want those that are here to feel that this is the place that they can find an opportunity at. Whenever we had an event and a young lady told me, I don't vote. It doesn't make a difference. And once she sat down and talked with me, she says, I'm going to go ahead over there and register to vote just for you. And I told her, don't do it for me. Do it for you. Because if we want a better neighborhood, if we want better people into these public offices, it's up to us to change it. The future is in our hands.
I agree.
So
I want to know about, a few questions came in about some bills that you brought to the table or that you designed and created, about weapons and guns, and just expanding some different laws. Can you talk to us about that? Just kind of let us know about the two, because it was two bills, right?
well, I've done several bills, but one of the things I told you earlier, that young people are my heart. And one of the bills, I went to one of my high schools, and the resource officer came out and showed me a whole table full of guns. And I said, who do those guns belong to? And he said, oh, they belong to parents, and we just call them, and they come pick them up. And he said, but the kids bring them onto campus. Well, that distressed me. So I did one piece of legislation called safe storage.
Okay.
And the way that was set up is that under that particular piece of law, we were encouraging not only parents, guardians, anybody who has a gun in their household and a school-age child, lock it up. And if that gun appeared on a campus, and that was all predicated from the shooting at LaFleur High School,
Okay.
where one kid was shot. And now we've had one in Huntsville that was killed and so forth. But it was a safe storage bill that simply said that if that gun was found on a campus, you would be parent or the guardian, the punishment would be a Class C felony, which is a misdemeanor. So that's how that bill, it simply said, lock it up. That's all that bill did, was let's be responsible. If you're a gun owner, it doesn't take away your Second Amendment rights. You just lock the gun up. The other bill that I did was, and it expanded because, and we're still having it happen. Just a couple of days ago, we had a couple of kids that were shot in a vehicle. We've had tons of them since that bill. I am not trying to put black men in jail. I'm trying to put criminals in jail. First, let's get that started. That particular piece of legislation was designed to perhaps stop what was happening. I have a friend by the name of Grace Carter. Grace was killed in a church in Pritchard while on her knees. She was the wife of a pastor at his church. Someone shot through the church, shot Grace in the head. Her husband thought she was still praying and she was dead. The young lady who did the shooting got 3 years. Grace's family came to me and said, Miss Drummond, why is this happening? I actually took the initiative and met with judges and others and say, how could you all do this? They get youthful offender. Then the young lady, the little girl about this child's age, that was shot while lying on the couch. Her mom, I have met with her repeatedly. She can't live in her house anymore. Her child is dead. Her son is still on the run. There are people operating in our city that are really giving our community a bad name. Whenever I do anything, I'm doing it to try to help the community. It is not about putting anybody in jail. Think about it. That person doesn't have to do that crime. I'm not saying, but what about that mother whose heart is broken? I had to meet her at Crackle Barrel because she doesn't have a place to stay right now. She's staying at a hotel. What about Grace Carter's husband and her children who don't have a mom anymore? And that list is long. It's going on and on and on. What about the grandfather and the grandmother that somebody just shot in their house and looking for the teenage son, killed them? Sometimes we have to, one of the things I think that has molded me, I was raised in a society where you would be accountable. My mom used to always, she raised us, she said, there are consequences to everything that you do. I just want us to be accountable. Their lives mean something. So I'm not trying to put black men in jail. I'm trying to put criminals in jail.
That makes sense. So I do want to just kind of expand on that a little bit and just really talk about as it pertains to people who actually commit these crimes. What are some things we can put in place to actually, it's hard to say prevent crimes, but
well, you'll never prevent it, but it goes back to what I said a moment ago. We've got to start creating safe places and safe things for our children to do.
Opportunities.
What we're experiencing now, I'm a person, I believe it's a demonic spirit, but I really feel like it truly epitomizes what it says, an idle mind is a devil's workshop.
Right.
These children don't have anything to do. I look at good programs, and I've always been a proponent of the Boys and Girls Club. Once upon a time, what they received from the city was a lot more than what they're getting now. They're getting piddlings. I look at Dearborn YMCA. Representative Drummond, this is my second year, guys. I hosted 50 kids to summer camp because I don't have a Boys and Girls Club in my district anymore. So I took part of my education money, and I was over there today, as a matter of fact, to see the kids, to see those parents who say, thank you, Representative Drummond, because I don't know what I'd do with my kids for the summer. We've got to start investing back into things in our community that will help create safe places and safe things for our children to do. We don't have those in our community. When on Texas Hill, for me, when I was growing up, we could be in the middle of the street playing kickball, and we did that for hours, and that was enough.
Now, I'm from Georgia, so you're going to have to tell me what Texas Hill is. And some of the people that are that live here now, we don't know what that is.
It's only one little stretch. I tell people it's not very long. It's not one, but it was a good time. But our kids now, their minds are much more smarter. They're technology friendly, and we've got to create opportunities and things for them to do, because I'm telling you, it truly epitomizes that an idle mind is the devil's workshop. We're seeing it every day.
That's true. That's true. One more question and we're going to be done. I'm going to wrap this up. So, entertainment and nightlife. Tell me what your stance is on that. Because, it's like Mobile shuts down so early.
Well, see, that's going to be a part of the lifestyle change.
Okay.
As one of those individuals who's one of the founders and worked on Bayfest, gave a lot of my hard-earned time, backbone, and everything. And I was one of those that was pretty much distressed when it went under. But I think that there are some opportunities that we'll look at. I'm glad to see that Moon Pie Over Mobile, which is also part of, Fred's the father, I'm the mother of Moon Pie Over Mobile. So I'm happy to see that still continue. But I think that we'll look at some other areas and some other things, because that's a part of the lifestyle change.
Yeah.
When you talk about but I want a lifestyle change that's going to create an economic boom for our tourism market in the city of Mobile. Bayfest, I feel like, did that. We always used to say, put heads in beds. And we got a good reputation. So I think that there are some opportunities, but the footprint of downtown has changed drastically. So we can't do what we did before. It'll have to be something a lot more innovative. And there comes the opportunity for young minds to help out.
Well, I appreciate your time again. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me. Our conversation started about an email that I sent. You picked up the phone and called me, and I was so impressed that you did that. I appreciate you reaching out to me. Thank you.
Well,
again.
This is a journey that, as I said before, it is not one that I chose for me. I think God chose it for me, and it's because He has molded me for such a time as this.
Well, we're at our time. I said 15, 20 minutes. We're 4 minutes over. But I knew that I can get long-winded and want to know a lot. So we're going to end it here. But a few more minutes here. I just want you to speak to your audience that is viewing us. Speak right here. Let them know August 26th.
Well, August the 26th is very important, but I want you to know that when you look at Representative Barbara Drummond, she's somebody who cares about Mobile. She's a person who has her own mind, and her mind is on people right now. I am wanting to build a city, not just for some folks. I want it to be for all folks. That's who I am. When you look at me, I am a person who fight hard for Mobile, and I'll fight hard for you. Because I've been fighting all of my life, and it does not stop now. Thank you.
I want to hear that Dorothy thing that you said.
Oh, I am Dorothy. I am Dorothy. There's, when you talk about hard times, I remember when I didn't have a job and I had opportunity to leave Mobile, and I did not leave Mobile because I didn't want to. I am truly Dorothy. There is no place like home. And I'm telling you, this is my home. This is what built me. This is what shaped me. All the way from Texas Hill, a place that they said nothing good can come out of there. And I say, look at me.
Look at you. Burn that azalea bush down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in for opportunity for community engagement. And I appreciate you for taking the time to be with us today. And don't forget, August 26th, we need you at the polls.